Welcome, everybody, to podcast number 281. Are you running your project with the quality program? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I really hope you're doing well. I'm out here in my recording booth tonight, after doing the superintendent boot camp for 2.5, well, actually, it ended up being 3 days. And let's total the amount of hours. So it's I don't math very well. That sounds like victim speech, but 2 16-hour days, that's 32 hours. Then plus, it was 4 o'clock to 12. Let's see if I can do the math there. That's 6, 8, so that's 8, and then the cleanup, that was another 10. So it was actually 42 hours. So in the last 2.5 days, I've done 42 hours of solid work. That's pretty cool. Wow, so somebody was joking with me. They were like, come to superintendent boot camp to learn how to live a balanced life by working 16 hours a day. I thought that was, okay. So it's super funny. There's a couple reasons we do that. And part of it's your fault, part of it's my fault. So a lot of times people won't sign up for super boot camp if it's like 3 or 4 days. And anybody that's been knows that we can't cut down the content because it's needed content. And so if I say 2 days and we cram it in, there's two good things that happen. People come and then people get tired. So it's easier to get through to mental breakthroughs because you're tired and you have less mental energy to keep up those walls and to be unauthentic. Now, I think it would work better if it was 3 or 4 days and they were spread out. We finished at 6 o'clock at night instead of at 9 o'clock at night. But everybody out there, you're going to have to keep signing up for boot camps, even if it's a 3-day deal. You're just going to have to get coverage, ask the project manager to get out there and do it. Or maybe we even schedule the final day on a Saturday. But go ahead and let me know if you have any of the people that have already taken the boot camp, if you have a second round of people, more people. If you're listening to this and you're like, yep, I've heard great things, I've seen the videos, I want to send my people, go ahead and start getting me those lists so I can get the next one on the books. Also, the first boot camp has an opportunity to go through the final 2 days after the facilitation. So why am I wandering off? Oh, I know why I was talking about this. I was talking about this to just like report on my couple of days. So the first day, great breakthroughs, energy. I mean, really great stuff. Second day, continued with the breakthroughs. We talked about in-depth concepts about Takt planning, the integrated production control system. It was great. And then on the third day, we did project tours. So we visited a mega project with DPR and a really large project for Oakland. And the people left both of those projects really, really impressed to see 2 projects that are knee deep into their lean journey and their lean implementation. It was fantastic. Tonight's podcast really tailors quite a bit to the Oakland site. I'm going to brag about them quite a bit here as I go through this podcast, because today we're going to talk about having an effective quality program, and we're going to have some fun. So let me just do a kind of an overview here, and I'll do this again. And I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to go backwards. For us to implement production control, we have to have our eyes focused on the worker. What does he or she need? Should they install it? Where should they put it? Do they have the materials? Do they have the equipment? Do they have a clean environment? Do they have a safe environment? Okay. And we can't really do that unless our foremen are bought in and trained and really cared for and taken care of. Let me tell you, when we were at the NEAK site, the Oakland project, their logistics foremen out there and the way they treat their foremen, they are actually doing this stuff. I also talked to some of the Hensel Phelps people that were in the boot camp that came out and attended the course, and they said they do this with their foreman. They have a continuous education program. They track production, plan production, and they do reflections, and they correct issues based on where they're losing money because of the 8 ways. So what I'm saying is we cannot, and then on the Oakland side, They have organized connexes. They have Kanban systems. They have training systems. They mentor their foreman at least every other week. It's fantastic. So on a project site, you can't take care of workers until you take care of the foreman. You can't take care of the foreman and allow them to have that connection, relevance, and measurement and have them be winning unless you have foreman standard work and you're tracking and improving production daily. You can't do that unless you grade contractors and get everybody on the project site operating at the same level. And then before that, you need to implement zero tolerance for cleanliness, organization, safety, and deliveries. Even before that, have a fanatical roadblock removal system to clear the work and create flow. Before that, have a daily issue correction system. We saw examples of that today. They were at NEAK, they were using Procore. At the other project site, they were using texting systems. I like to use GroupMe. There was actually another one where when they communicate to the foreman, they actually log in the amount of projected hours it will take, and they level out the workload of their GC carpenters and laborers. It was fantastic. So are you finding 10 to 15 issues a day? But even before that, you need to start from an accountability standpoint, really holding the line with quality. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But first, just a couple of reminders. Elevate Construction, we do project recovery, training, and boot camps. That's our favorite, by the way. We love to do training and boot camps. And then construction and business and organizational health consulting. That's next week. I'm going to a great company, and they want to really improve their communication, their leadership team, get into some really dynamic processes with their group. And I'm very, very excited about that. We love that too. So if you have a question, please let us know. We'll answer it on podcasts or YouTube videos on Lean Takt or Lean Survey or the Elevate Construction YouTube channel, or like I said, on this podcast. If you want to attend a boot camp, please let me know. Also, there was somebody just today that asked me for project manager boot camps. Those are great. We cover mainly organizational health. We cover team building in depth, risk, IPD, design build concepts. We talk about financial projection systems. We talk about a lot of that project manager focus, and we have a great time with those as well. I think there's nothing more fun. I mean, it's fun getting supers out of their comfort zone, but PMs and watching them squirm a little bit and like take breakthroughs to the next level, now that's fun. And I love me some PMs, so don't think that was trash talk. I'm just saying, I absolutely love doing that. So let's go ahead. Oh, real quick. What am I excited about in life? I'm excited about project tours and scaling. The project tours went probably 4 times as good as I thought they were going to. Both projects did zero preparation for us. Both projects were perfectly clean. They were perfectly clean. I picked up, and when I say perfectly clean, I judge a clean site by, can I walk the job and fit all the trash that I pick up in my left hand? That's what I consider perfect. And I would even like it better than that. But if I get more trash than I can handle in my left hand, then I know we have a problem. I walked that job. We walked it for at least an hour and a half. I only had a couple things in my left hand. It was a great experience. The quality was great. The cleanliness was great. The flow was great. The people, they weren't even programmed. They weren't even prepared, meaning they didn't pre-script their speeches, and they probably said the word flow like 17 times. And it was really nice to know that we're speaking a common vocabulary. We are going to do more and more of this at Elevate. We are going to tour people through different types of projects. We are going to help those cultures stay steady by touring the projects because they have a motivation. We're going to scale more YouTube videos. We're going to scale more pictures. That is what's going to happen because they are more effective than even I already knew. We have to have anchor projects in this industry to tour. And if you are an anchor project and you want to go on the Elevate Construction list of projects to tour for bootcamp attendees or otherwise, please let me know. Also, I want to talk about feedback. Instead of saying what people are telling about us at Elevate Construction, I want to compliment the 11 people that came to superintendent bootcamp. That actually ended up being a perfect number for the first public superintendent bootcamp that we did. I want to compliment those 11 professionals who went all out, who all passed, and who just gave it their heart, might, mind, and strength. They pushed themselves to points that I don't think anybody had ever thought that they would have to or could. And they performed at a high level. And most of all, they were humble, wonderful people. And I always worry a little bit. I'm like, am I going to get a dissenting a-hole in this class that's tearing down everything that we're doing, that thinks they're too cool for school? I couldn't have been more delighted at the caliber of people that we had at this boot camp. So that's my feedback for y'all. Here's some conflict for us today. You are not creating enough structure to ensure the quality implementation of your project site. So let me just tell you a couple of stories here. First of all, the NEAK team at Oakland, I want to talk about that. You go out there, and they have visual feature of workboards for their critical features of work at hand with color in picture laminated for the crews. That's number one. Number two, clean, safe, organized, operationally excellent site. That's the other key consideration. Number three, you go into their Connex box and it looks like something from Paul Akers' shop in 2-second lean. Absolutely amazing and over the top. Then you go out to the site, and you see concrete exposed board form walls, and you see the quality, and you see that where they've painted on the underside of the deck to signal to trade partners not to drill underneath polished concrete. And you see the quality of their overhead, and you see the quality of their caulking, and you see the quality of just everything that they do, and the fact that they're really being particular with their flooring and making sure that it's level and that it's installed right. Everything going in per visual systems per these feature of workboards. People were walking with me and they were saying, my energy and motivation is just going through the roof right now. I am just amped up and ready to take it to the next level. I have seen projects like this where quality is their number one. I mean, safety is their number one, but quality is like their thing. And they just take it through the roof. There was a superintendent. He was a project superintendent. He was at Hensel Phelps, and he was at Camp Pendleton. I remember he was leading what the Hensel Phelps folks call the 6-step quality process. And he would have the pre-mobilization meetings, bio meetings, pre-mobilization meetings, preparatory meetings, I can't remember what they call it, the initial inspection, right? The follow-up inspections. And he would run those meetings personally. He was invested. He had a log and a schedule for when they were going to happen. He was prepared. He ensured the team prepared. He tracked those in the team meeting. And I remember leaving that job, and it was a successful job, and he was promoted to become a general superintendent at quite a young age. He ran that job from that quality system. The 6-step quality process that they had at Hensel Phelps, he ran that job with that system. He organized that team with that system. He was successful wildly with that system. And I've always had that stuck in my mind. And then later on in my career, Taylor Fulkerson was working with me, a fantastic project manager and executive leader. He said, Jason, we need to get the quality system into the team meeting as the main focus of the agenda in a point of release chart. And he did it. He put it in the team meeting, and we would go through the team coverage. We would go through PTO. We would talk about how we were doing. We would do a team building moment. We'd ask about the customer. And then about 5-10 minutes into the meeting, it was, okay, what are the next scopes that have to be bought out? What are the next scopes that need to start working on submittals? What are the next scopes that need to start preparing for our what we had called a pre-construction meeting? Who's going to prepare the meeting minutes for that, or the agenda for that? When is our first to place mock-up? I mean, and then once one step was done, it would go down to the next step in the point of release chart, down to the next step. And so every new feature of work would be queued up at buyout and then go through this point of release in the team meeting, and everybody knew where we were headed. And everything ended up having a visual quality feature of workboard or a checklist. And we were very successful with that. This is the best implementation I've seen of quality systems. And I asked myself, how can we get this done? Well, and I just want to keep hammering this home. Technology becomes a passive system. Things in the computer, they become passive systems. If we have this quality spreadsheet that tells us how to do our job, it's probably a passive system. We want an active system. So you can either put it up on the wall as a visual active piece of information, or you can put it as the main focus as a part of one of your meetings. We want active information. So everybody knows that I'm a little bit down on all of the software because I want active systems. And so how do we make this a focus? We make it an active system as a main focus of our team meetings. We do it as a point of release charts. So let me go ahead and take you through the principle, and I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. Okay. An effective quality program. Quality at its root is that the foreman and workers understand what needs to be built. That's it. That's the base definition. We don't need to make it any more complex than that for the most part. Do the foreman and the workers understand what the expectations are? And are they actually building it that way? And do they pull the and on, signal the and on? Do they stop the work if they're not installing it that way? So quality at its root is that the foreman and the workers understand what needs to be built and that they are building it that way in a verifiable environment. When quality becomes visual, easily understood, and followed by workers, and the main focus of the project team meeting in a point of release chart, the project team can implement quality in a remarkable way instead of this becoming a separate and forgotten process. The following steps must be taken. Number 1, follow the quality process as the main driving force for making work ready. Number 2, hold all key meetings for high-risk features of work. Number 3, execute remarkable pre-construction or preparatory meetings, whatever you call these meetings. Hold remarkable pre-construction meetings with the superintendent and foreman present in the meeting for that trade partner. Number 4, make as the final deliverable a visual, bulleted, and large print feature of workboard for each crew to utilize when working. Work toward every crew having and utilizing feature of workboards on site as a visual system. Remove all defective work immediately and do not pass defective work down to the customer. Run this process as the main focus of the team weekly tactical or the team meeting every week. So this works, and I do want to say we just toured the Super Boot Camp attendees through a project that uses these visual feature of workboards. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, I've done checklists, I've had single-page documents, I love it. My 2 questions are you making it bulleted? Are you doing it in English and in Spanish? Are you making it interesting? Do you have visual pictures? Because that's how workers like to learn. Now, here was another idea. Spencer Easton today said, hey, in order to get people to pull the and on with this in a lean system, why not have the project engineer, office engineers, or whoever's the field engineer's phone number at the top of that card that, or the foreman on the top of that 11x17 saying, if defects are found, questions are had, or we have quality problems, call this number, stop, call, wait, stop, call, wait, stop, call, wait. The point here is that quality is really something that has to be in your heart. This can't be a process. It can't be a system. It has to be in your heart. You have to really want to implement fanatical quality. When you implement fanatical quality, typically you also have fanatical safety. When you have fanatical safety, then you have fanatical care with workers. And guess what you get after all of that? When you have fanatical quality, safety, cleanliness, and respect for workers, you now get flow. Guess what? Now you're going to make a ton of money. We were out actually at both projects, but I'll just give you an example from the NEAK Oakland team. It almost looked like nobody was working in the building, but they're running faster and doing a better job than other projects in their area, and they're on schedule, and it is clean and stable, but it looks like nobody's in there. This is the counterintuitive thing that happens with flow and with Takt planning, is that when you're in a flow, crew sizes can actually go down to a quarter or an eighth of what you would otherwise need to get the same amount of work done and actually to even go faster. So you go out there and you're like, this is like a ghost town. Where in the world is everybody? But still work is going at an expedited rate. Okay. So what do owners do when they see that? They're like, oh, this contractor doesn't care. They're not going fast enough. Then the owners start to say, add more manpower and materials. And that's when you slow down. But you look busy. but you slow down. You look busy, but you slow down. Now, when you are able to have a flow and smaller crew sizes, what's easier? What's easier to train? A large crew in chaos, or a smaller, steady crew that's right-sized and leveled out that can be there consistently? What's easier to check from a quality standpoint? A project site with 4 times the amount of manpower or consistent crew sizes? You can answer these questions yourself, but they're pretty self-explanatory. My point here is this, that quality can be achieved. It is the next frontier. If we already have projects that are following the quality process, that have a point of release chart as their main focus in the team meeting every week, if we actually have high-risk features of work going through this system, and actually we are now finding projects with visual feature of workboards, what's next? We're going to perfect the system. We are going to increase training. We are going to make it more visual. We are going to create better formats. We are going to find better ways to connect. We are going to improve this system instead of giving up and just replacing it and dealing with defects all the time. We have to get real serious about quality. And when we get real serious about quality, then we're going to get real serious about daily corrections for safety and quality issues. Then we're going to get real serious about roadblock removal. Then we're going to get really serious about implementing zero tolerance. Then we're going to get really serious about grading contractors. And then we're going to get serious about supporting foremen in their standard work. And then we're going to get serious about making sure that we're training foremen constantly. And then we're going to actually be able to deliver a remarkable environment for the worker, so they have what they need, they know how to install it, they have the materials and equipment, they know where to put it in a clean and a safe environment. Now, all of that is fine, but out ahead of what we just talked about with a quality program is stabilized procurement, a meeting system, a self-sustaining logistics system, remarkable interaction spaces, remarkable orientations, the project management team being high functioning, winning over the workforce as a project site, prefabrication. I love that. The last planner system and the implementation of that, lean in contracts, and remarkable pre-construction. Please stay with us as we cover these topics in the integrated production control system. And as a final thought, for quality, I just want to say that if you can get your team focused and actually executing on quality, and see that as a way of life, like the Japanese see it, like Paul Akers see it, like fanatical crazy people see it, then you can really make a difference. Right now, we just let work happen and randomly schedule meetings for quality, and we just rip it out if it's wrong or we don't really trust it. It's like residential stick-built wood construction. We just throw it out there and we don't really check it very much. So here's the challenge. Really get used to your quality system. Learn it, internalize it, become fanatical about it. Make it a part of your team meeting. Follow up and hold people accountable. Make sure that the visuals get all the way to the workers and win. You have to absolutely 100% win with this system. And just one final point. When we walked that team today, quality is in their bones. When you look at those board form walls, when you look at the ceilings, when you look at the way they deal with even their overhead caulking, quality is in their bones, and it is your job as the leader to instill that sense of fanaticism when it comes to your quality program and to hold them accountable. I'll leave you with this. Some companies, have you ever been around a company where they're like, oh, I just created a new idea, let's implement it. Oh, I just created another new idea, let's implement it. Oh, I just created another idea, let's implement it. And then nothing sticks. Implementation is a lot more like planting a tree or planting a flower than it is like anything else. When you plant something, you plant the seed, but then you have to water it. And then you need the sunlight to draw the water up through the roots. Same thing with implementing. Planting the seed is like having the idea. Watering it is like providing continuous training. And then the sunlight pulling the water through the roots is your accountability systems and your expectations. Any company can come with their leadership team and come up with a million different great ideas. But until you provide training over and over and repeat that 7 times, and until you hold your organization accountable, it will not stick, it will not grow, because you have not nourished the seed. And just like some of my favorite analogies of faith in the scriptures, was it because the seed was bad? No. It was because you did not nourish the seed. You did not nourish your faith. Faith is a principle of action. Faith means that you work hard, that you know that it's possible, and that you actually take the steps to implement, and then you know for a fact that it can happen. Most of the times when we're on our project sites, like especially with this quality thing, we're not implementing because we don't have faith, because we don't think it's possible, because we're not putting in the work and we're not taking it to the distance. Whether it's religious or, a secular understanding of faith, faith is knowing what's possible, wanting to, and then putting in the work, and then you know for sure. If I wanted to go turn on this light switch right now, I would say, oh, I know that's possible. I want to. Let me go walk over there and turn it on. Now, when I turn it on, does it turn on? Yes. Do I have faith anymore? No, because I know it's possible. Same thing with quality. Do you hear what I'm talking about and think to yourself, wow, this is too hard? Or do you have faith? Do you know it's possible? I didn't say think. Do you know it's possible? Do you really, really want to? Not this fleeting want to, not, oh, I think that'd be nice, but do you want remarkable quality? And are you willing to put in the work to where one day you can say, before I had faith, but now I know of a surety. This is what we need to do if we're ever going to make inroads with this entire system or the quality portion. You have to have an effective quality program on your project site to win. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.